Helicopter 13.3 Effective aeronautical decision-making. In the realm of aviation, assessing risk is a skill every pilot needs to master. It starts with identifying hazards and the accompanying risks. This knack for spotting potential dangers gets honed through experience, training, and education, with instructors playing a crucial role in highlighting hazards during flight training. Once a hazard is spotted, the next step is to figure out the probability and severity of an accident associated with it, essentially, determining the level of risk. For instance, if there's a hazard like binding in the antitorque pedals, the risk is only significant when the helicopter is in flight. If this binding leads to a loss of control, the risk skyrockets, potentially causing catastrophic damage. Here's the deal. Every flight comes with hazards and some level of risk. The trick for pilots is to differentiate between low-risk and high-risk flights in advance. They need a systematic review process and risk mitigation strategies covering the entire spectrum of flights. To amp up risk assessment skills, delving into National Transportation Safety Board reports and accident research is a wise move. For instance, the data suggests that the accident rate drops by almost 50% once a pilot hits 100 hours, continuing to decrease until reaching 1,000 hours. It implies that pilots flying visual flight rules at night in the first 500 hours should set higher personal limitations than regulations require and, if applicable, apply instrument flying skills in such scenarios. Now, helicopter pilots need to keep something in mind. The helicopter accident rate is 30% higher than that for fixed-wing aircraft. The operational complexity of helicopters and the slim margin for error in critical decision-making situations contribute to this. Unlike fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters often operate in confined areas, demanding continuous pilot control. Fatal accidents often occur during low-level maneuvering flight, which includes activities close to terrain or obstacles like powerline patrols, wildlife control, and crop dusting. Approach accidents, particularly at night or in instrument flight rules or IFR conditions, and takeoff, initial climb accidents due to density-altitude effects or improper planning are also significant contributors. One of the riskiest moves is attempting visual flight rules flight into IMC conditions, accounting for a small percentage of total accidents but a disproportionately high share of fatal mishaps. The lesson here is clear. While weather forecasts are improving, assessing weather risks should remain a top priority for every pilot. In the realm of aviation safety, the 3P model, perceive, process, perform, proves to be a valuable tool for pilots. It's a practical approach outlined in the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, helping pilots effectively assess and manage risks in real-world scenarios. Let's break down the 3P model using a common scenario. A utility helicopter pilot tasked with flying 4 passengers into a remote area for a hunting expedition. The chosen location boasts steep, rugged terrain with valleys, canyons, and large mountains. The pilot initiates the 3P process upon arrival at the site. First up is perceive. The pilot swiftly identifies hazards impacting the approach, landing, and takeoff in the confined area. This includes assessing current aircraft weight, power, required approach angle to clear trees, wind direction and velocity, constrained approach and departure paths due to terrain, escape routes if the approach needs termination, possible hazards like wires or structures, and the landing site's terrain conditions, considering mud, dust, or snow. Moving on to process, the pilot takes each perceived hazard and assesses its associated risk level. This involves a thorough evaluation of the risks identified in the previous step. For instance, the pilot evaluates the risk associated with the limited approach and departure paths, considering the constricting terrain. Finally, perform comes into play. This is where risk management and mitigation strategies are put into action. The pilot makes informed decisions on how to address each identified risk. For instance, based on the assessment, the pilot may choose a specific approach angle to safely clear the trees during landing or determine alternative escape routes. In essence, the 3P model becomes a continuous loop, with each element, perceive, process, perform, addressed systematically for every identified hazard. This structured approach enhances a pilot's ability to make informed decisions, manage risks effectively, and ensure the safety of the flight. In evaluating the risks associated with the confined area approach, the pilot delves into specific factors to make informed decisions. The assessment begins with the weight-power scenario, which is deemed low risk. Adequate out-of-ground effect or OGE power is verified during power checks. Considering the departure density altitude or DA is greater than the arrival density altitude and fuel has been burned en route, the pilot anticipates increased power availability after passenger disembarkation, further reducing risk. Next, the pilot addresses the highest obstacles along the approach path, estimating a low risk level. Maintaining a normal approach angle allows clearance of 70 to 80 feet obstacles. Mental checkpoints are strategically chosen for risk mitigation, serving as go or no-go points if parameters are exceeded. Wind direction and velocity present a medium risk due to a 15 to 20 degrees crosswind, and the pilot's experience with mountain flow wind aids in risk reduction. From an approach and departure perspective, a medium risk is assigned. With only one viable path, the confined area's size and wind direction make the chosen path acceptable. Escape route selection is also rated medium risk, considering constricting terrain and physical boundaries. Mental checkpoints facilitate early decisions for a go-around, aligning with the chosen approach, departure path and into the wind. The interconnected nature of identified hazards and risk management actions highlights the need for continuous assessment. The 3P model, perceive, process, perform, proves effective for several reasons. It's easy to remember, offers a structured way to identify hazards and assess risk, and encourages habitual risk management thinking through consistent adherence to procedures. After a decision is made, the process restarts as the chosen course of action introduces new circumstances, perpetuating the continuous loop of perceiving, processing, and performing.